What's good? We back with the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. Shout out to the LDBC and the YTBC. We working, and with like the Boxers Writer Association awards coming up. Them talking about the Trainer of the Year, the Ring Trainer of the Year awards, and it seems like it goes to the same trainers every year. Freddie Roach got it several times one year. I'm pretty sure Robert Garcia got it a few times as well. But I just ask, I understand that they get their recognition and they staples in the game. But why isn't guys I'm just talking forward. If one of these guys don't win Trainer of the Year, between Derrick James or Andre Rozier, I just think they need to look and reevaluate their process. Of course, I don't know every trainer out there. I know Buddy McGirt made a return with Lipinets. You got Floyd Sr. still doing his thing with Devin Haney, Andrew Tabiti. You got Eddie Mustafa Muhammad still out there. Mike McCullum still, he training. Jesse Vargas now. You got, your regular trainers out there as well. Barry Hunter never get his just due. Kevin Cunningham trained numerous world champions. He never got his just due. So, I know there's 1,000 trainers out there. Ronnie Shields, 1,000 trainers out there. But, it seems like every year they just focus on Robert Garcia. They focus on Freddie Roach. They focus on trainers of that ilk. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good and great trainers out there as well that's trying to break through. Stephen Bredman out there in Philly. He had a good year this year with Ishe. Well, not with Ishe, but with Julian J. Rock beating Ishe Smith and getting another win on Bounce TV as well. But Derrick James and Andre Rozier had a hell of a year. You start off with Derrick James. Earl Spence becoming the world titleist this year. Jamel Charlo became a world titleist, last year. And then, had a lot of people dubbing the 50-50 fight, which I thought was crazy. But a lot of people picking Erickson Lubin to beat him. He knocked out Erickson Lubin in one round. He did have Robert Brandt, who did lose in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. But, come on. Last calendar year, he had 2 world champions and other fighters as well that he's working with. And not only does he have 2 world champions, he may have 2 of the best world champions in their weight divisions. You can easily say Jamel Charlo is the number 1 junior middleweight because Arizona Lara is scary, and a lot of people don't like him. And a lot of people feel that Jamel Charlo can compete and beat him. They're no longer the stablemates. Look at Errol Spence. A lot of people look at him as the number 1 welterweight, period, and they think he's going to take over. You can look at Bo McAtoo and the whole Terrence Crawford team. He got the Trainer of the Year from the WBO already. He has several trainers over there, and look what they're doing with Terrence Crawford. Sometimes you don't have to have several 1,000 fighters. Stephen Bredman said the best he keep a few fighters so he can focus on them. The more fighters you got, the less focus you're able to focus on them. And that's the problem that Freddie Roach had. That's why he lost Vanes Monterosian. That's why he lost Peter Quillen, who he gave to Eric Brown. Vanes moves on. A lot of fighters. He's not able to focus on one fighter. He's putting Pacquiao above everybody else. And everybody got to train and move over whatever Pacquiao train. That people get tired of that, you know what I'm saying? And he's been on a hell of a losing streak. His best fighter that's still active is Frankie Gomez, and he can't even track him down and keep him in the gym. I understand Robert Garcia had a good year this year, with Mikey coming back, getting the world title. I think it was last year. Come back being Broner this year. You probably had some other fighters out there as well. But you look at Andre Rozier. Yes, Danny Jacobs did lose to Triple G, but most people thought that Danny could have won that fight. He turned around and beat Luis Arias. Saddam Ali gets a big win out there as well. He shocked the world over Cotto. Sometimes more, and sometimes less is better than more. And you look at the 2 prominent wins that Rozier and Derrick James had. I think they had better wins than both any wins that Freddie Roach and Robert Garcia had. Why isn't the media giving them they just do? But when stuff is amongst certain trainers don't go right and they go on a losing streak, you don't hear about them talking about, Freddie Roach, ain't had a prominent fighter this long, or Robert Garcia, or whatever. You don't hear any negative energy coming from them. But if you see a guy like Virgil Hunter, they say, all his fighters is losing except for Andre Ward. He's a one-trainer guy. Don't matter. He built Andre Ward from the ground up, What fighter has Freddie Roach built from the ground up? Big Hunter built 2 potential world champions from the ground up. One, Lamont Peters, who's a world champion 2 times, and his brother, who should have been a world champion already, but career's been a little bit stagnant with promotional issues. Robert, a lot of people say Robert helped build Mikey ground up with his dad, but he had help. You know what I'm saying? Andre Rozier, you know, like he built a lot of young guys up. He got Sergey Zinchenko as well, who had a big win, becoming an IBF mandatory with for the Gennady Golovkin, and a lot of prominent guys he built up in New York City. You know, I'm pretty sure Derrick James, he's been around an amateur program. He didn't build Earl up, but he took Earl to the next level. You know, helped Robert Brant come to the World Championship level as well. You know, helped Jermell Charlo get in more of an offensive game. You see the improvement when people go to Derrick James. You know, you used to see the improvement with Freddie Roach, but I think that flame is kind of dwindled out with the Pacquiao. But he's still on the ground. He's still working the lower level, building fighters up. I seen him at small shows and stuff of that nature. And he's still out here working. You know, Frankie Gomez is going to be his next Pacquiao, but his head ain't on straight. So we'll see what goes on. And Robert Garcia is doing big things out in Oxnard, California. My point in this video is this. You know, hopefully they do right by these guys. These two gentlemen, one of these two gentlemen is on the right of the screen, and Derrick James Andre Rozier should be the boxing trainer of the year, if not Bo Mack. You know, Bo Mack is Terrence Crawford's trainer, along with the rest of the team that helped train Terrence Crawford. You know, you can say, oh, he had this many wins, but who had the best winner of the year? Who had the elite wins of the year? You know, Saddam Ali upsetting Cotto at Madison Square Garden. That's an elite win. You know, I don't care how old Cotto is. He beat Cotto easy. I ain't going to say easy, but he beat Cotto thoroughly. Derrick James, Errol Spence. You know, very few Americans go over to the UK and get their world title, like Timothy Bradley did it. You know, and a couple others did it. Errol Spence went over to the UK and got his world title. Jermell Charlo, you know, he knocked out a guy that y'all say was the second coming of a pound-for-pound fighter, Erickson Lubin, you know. So you look at those, and, you know, probably got some lower-level wins as well, and improvements and the imprint that they're making on boxing. It's their turn. It's their turn to get that recognition, in my opinion. You know, we're tired of the same carousel with Freddie Roach and Robert Garcia. There's no disrespect to them, but it's other guys out there that's deserving of the boxing trainer of the year. You know, Bo Mack, he been putting in work in with the other trainer over there. Barry Hunter been putting in work for years and had big years with Peterson. You know, Kevin Hunningham was on the wave with Devin Alexander as well too, and Corey Spinks. You know, but a lot of these guys they don't get their just due. You know, a lot of these lower trainers. You know, Joel Diaz has been on the wave. Roger Hunter had a wave. You know, a long wave. And I seen Richardson. A lot of these guys, man. It's time for these guys to get their credit and stop giving it to the same people every year.